Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great work week. Today is Friday. We got 2 games tonight. We've got 4 games that are on the NFL Network, and we have the Dallas Cowboys, of course, tomorrow night, and I can't wait to see them on the field. We know that we aren't going to be seeing Dak Prescott or Zeke Elliott. They've been doing all their work against the Denver Broncos. That's about the only work they're going to get. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that. I do not need to risk them. Seeing Dak Prescott hitting dimes to Seedy Lamb catching some dimes, dropping a couple, I'm okay. Let's get the younger guys some experience and get ready to play, because the younger guys are definitely going to have to be an integral part of this team. People will say that the Denver Broncos were more physical than the Cowboys, and maybe they were. A couple of things about this, and this is one of those things that, when I say that the Cowboys are the rich kid, Jerry Jones said, we practice out in Oxnard where the weather is perfect, so that way we can get a lot of practice time in. But it doesn't really tax your body the same way as practicing in the heat. That would be the first hot practice that the Cowboys have actually had. So going from like 71, 72 degree weather now to upper 80s in Denver with the altitude having less air, guys are getting winded. Neville Gallimore basically said, man, looking around and wonder, is anybody else tired? Because he's like, my check engine light is on because I can't breathe. So that might be part of it. Now, the physicality, it seemed like the Denver Broncos wanted it a little bit more in practice than, of course, the Cowboys. Now, we'll see when we actually play the preseason game. We're going to be playing in the same kind of conditions, of course, with the lack of altitude and stuff. But right now, all this stuff, we have to understand that this doesn't matter as far as what the season means. You want to look good. You want to get work in. But more than anything else, you want to get out healthy. We had a couple of minor issues injury-wise. It doesn't sound like that it's anything major and so on. And hopefully we can keep it through that way through the weekend. And so I've got to actually get downtown to do some more work, and hopefully I won't be seeing a guy butt naked on the corner in front of the White House. Be that as it may, I want to give a shout-out to David Hausman, who is now actually on Speak for Yourself. Let's go to David and listen to what he has to say about the Cowboys.
Clay, that knows more about the Cowboys than my guy, Dave Hellman, Cowboys Insider. Covering the Cowboys how long?
10 years.
10 years inside the locker room, outside the locker room. Everything you need to know, he knows. So this is what I want to know. Who are the 5 most important players to the Cowboys entering the season? And they don't even have to be players. Just the 5 most important people. Is it Dan Quinn, Tyron Smith, Tony Pollard, Zach Martin, Seedy Lamb, Dave Hellman? Get me started 1 through 5.
I'm not going to bother with any suspense. I mean, I think quarterback is probably the answer for every team in the NFL. It definitely is for the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
It's Dak Prescott. It's been Dak Prescott. They paid him $40 million. They're asking him to do way more with way less. I would argue Dak played at an MVP level for about half of last season.
Sure.
Not so great down the stretch. They still finished 12-5. It's going to have to be at that level week in and week out all season long.
No beef there. He's your number 1. Who you got at 2?
I never believed in a million years I'd be saying this after a year. It's Micah Parsons.
Oh.
And I had my doubts about the pick because I didn't know what he could do as a pass rusher. But I have learned that this is the type of defender that can change a game by himself, like the type of guy that can carry you to the playoffs. I think about a game against the Chiefs last year. Yeah. Micah sacked Mahomes twice. He stripped him. He has the potential to make that type of impact where even when your offense isn't giving you everything, he's the type of guy that can keep you in a game. I think he's going to do it a lot.
Not mad at that. Where are we at 3?
Tyron Smith, which is not the sexiest name that you are going to hear.
Cowboys left tackle, for those that aren't very familiar.
Cowboy fans, I know that you know what I'm talking about, because this guy, unfortunately for him, cannot stay healthy. When he is,
beast.
He's year 12.
The beast.
Easily top 10 tackle in the league, probably top 5, even in year 12.
Yes.
Just hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Beast.
This is a thinner offensive line than the Cowboys have been used to. The idea that they're the best line in the league, that's ancient history. They need him to be healthy if Dak's going to stay on.
Okay, B. That's 20-second timeout. I've been told 20-second or 30-second. I can't be content with him at number 3.
What's your beef?
He's never healthy. Like, it's not even saying, like, if he stays healthy, you know, if it's hot in New York in the winter, if it rains in LA in ever. It just don't happen, big dog.
You didn't ask me what was realistic. You said what's important. And that's the thing. That's the thing is they're thinner on the offensive line than they ever have been.
Yeah,
they cut Lyle Collins. They let Connor Williams leave in free agency. I get Cowboy fans are probably happy about that one, but they don't have depth at tackle.
Sure.
They need him to be healthy. It has to happen this year.
Sure.
It has to.
Okay, talk to me. Number 4.
Seedy Lamb. You trade away Amari Cooper. You let Cedric Wilson leave in free agency. It's time for Seedy to be the guy. And don't get me wrong, he's been a good player to this point in his career. He had 1,100 yards last year, made the Pro Bowl. He hasn't been that dude yet, though. Like my guy, LSU's Justin Jefferson, drafted after him. He's had a better start to his career. He hasn't been on that level. He's good. He's going to have to play at a higher level for this offense to be where it wants to be.
Okay, you don't yet have Jerry Jones on the list. You ain't got Kellen Moore on the list. I need the 5 most important people to the Cowboys, and I don't see anybody on staff. Who's number 5?
I mean, if it was the offseason, I would say Will McClay. Shout out, Will. I bet you're watching this. I would say Will in the offseason.
Unofficially the Cowboys general manager.
So give me Dan Quinn.
Okay.
I could have said Kellen. He's important to this too. But here's the crazy thing, Acho. We're seeing the Cowboys transition away. Like, it used to be offense. That was the identity of his team. I really think it's going to be on Dan and his defense to help carry this thing. Again, Micah Parsons. He just barely didn't make the cut, but Trayvon Diggs is going to be a big part of that. Jaron Kearse. Demarcus Lawrence, a second-team All-Pro that never gets brought up.
I got to stop you.
It's on Dan. It's on Dan to make all of that work.
Sure, there's a glaring omission. A glaring omission. There's no Ezekiel Elliott. And we know that Ezekiel Elliott, at least if Emmitt Smith tells it, is supposed to be the engine to this car that's supposed to go to a Super Bowl. I don't see him anywhere on the list. No love, no respect. What you feeling?
It's 2022, baby. Like, we're stat nerds forever. Because, and look, I like Zeke a lot more than the public does. Running back is not when you're talking about the end-all, be-all positions, running back's not up there. And on top of that, say what you will about Zeke, it's undeniable the Cowboys have one of the best 1-2 punches in the NFL. So if Zeke goes down, you have Tony Pollard. Everybody feels great about that. That's why I didn't put him up.
Can the Cowboys make it deep into the playoffs without Zeke's domination? Can they do that?
Is Tony Pollard healthy?
He is.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like Tony Pollard is something like a great kicker or a backup quarterback. Track with me here. We all love a great kicker because they come in and they save the day. We love a backup quarterback because, man, imagine how good the backup is when the starter's sucking. But when you put the backup in, you're kind of like, oh, maybe that's why he's a backup. The kicker, when all of a sudden he shanks the game-winning 37-yard field goal, you realize, I don't love him that much. Tony Pollard is explosive as all get out. But is he really a 1-2-3 down back?
Actually, the answer is no, and that's fair. And I'm tired of people acting like the other things Zeke does aren't important. It's one of the best pass protection backs in the NFL. That stuff is important.
Sure.
But you mean to tell me if all this stuff is working, if the offensive line is healthy and playing well, if Dak Prescott is playing at the utmost of his capability, they're not going to be sunk because they have their second-string running back, who's also pretty damn good. I just don't believe that. If all of the rest of this is working, they can make it work without Zeke.
Lastly, very quickly, Seedy Lamb, a lot of pressure on him this season. Will he ball this season?
Will he ball? Yes. But there's so many good receivers in the NFL. Seedy's going to be great. Is he going to climb into that conversation with the Devontaes and the Cups? I'm not ready to say that.
Fair.
But I'm Seedy Lamb is a Pro Bowl receiver. He's going to play like one this year for sure.
Man, I love this, and that's why I love you, because you can break this down better than anybody in the world.
All right. Interesting take on that. And I kind of have to agree with most of that stuff on there. All right, good people. You got the early report, and I've got to get my behind, pick up some cement, and get downtown so we can get this thing poured. As always, I appreciate each and one of you guys, and you know how we roll. folks here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Cowboys Sports Report.
You did it one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is